from San Francisco to New York to humble beginnings in Boston.
I don't know if it's necessarily my favorite city, but it was the first city that like I fell in love with and felt like a home to me. Boston is basically where I kind of grew. I mean, I grew up, elsewhere, but like I feel like I really became like a person in Boston.
ZEE Machine got his start at Berklee College of Music, but his classmates knew him as Joe Bissell. The up-and-comer just put down roots in Los Angeles to pursue his dream.
My window. There's like screeches and shit out there.
Okay, so it's not all glamorous. He talked to me via Skype about his EP and its lead single, Running on Empty.
It's been about a year and 10 weeks. It's been about 1 million bottles more.
Like I went through some really kind of dark times with drugs. It's weird because I wrote that before I even things really got bad. I wrote that at the end of my time in New York in 2014, before I moved to San Francisco, which is where things really got bad. So it was kind of like life was imitating art. It was sort of my ode to like whoever is going to have to deal with my baggage.
The record's title track, Brain Chemistry, takes the eventual triumph from the last note of Running on Empty and becomes a celebration of all things queer.
It's sort of my ode to LGBTQIA history. And I mean, it's only scraping the surface, but it's kind of like, I sample a RuPaul interview clip at the beginning.
The pendulum swings so far to the right, it's going to come crashing back to the left. Okay.
The chorus is talking about Stonewall. New York, Moscow, San Francisco, and Laramie, Wyoming.
New York to Moscow, or from Laramie to San Fran. You're gonna hear some preacher who don't understand.
Which are all, kind of hubs of important events or places in queer history over the last 50 years. And then basically saying that this is kind of the way that we were made, and that you aren't going to try to change us. So stop trying it, because we're just going to get pissed off. And we fight back, and we always win.
So it's kind of an anthem.
If you want to call it an anthem, I'm not gonna stop you. I don't think anyone should try to call their own music an anthem. I think that should speak for itself.
Bissell is sipping his tea now, but it wasn't long ago that he was studying music in Boston and entering a cover contest by Perez Hilton. Going up against his now famous classmate, Charlie Puth.
Back in 2011, Perez Hilton did this whole thing where he would, every month he would do this cover song contest, and he'd be like, all right, everyone send me your cover songs of this song, or cover versions of this song. And so he did one for Someone Like You by Adele once, and Charlie Puth won that one. And so he was on Perez Hilton's website, and then a few weeks later, he was on Ellen performing it.
I have just signed him to my record label, so they have just got a recording contract.
And then the next month, the song was Marry the Night by Lady Gaga, and I won it. I didn't get to go on Ellen. What the fuck?
But walking down the same halls as Charlie Puth wasn't Bissell's only encounter with a future star. He also knew Betty Who. Before anyone asked, Betty who?
I would never go as far as to say, oh, we were friends in school, but like we were acquaintances for sure. We were in a couple shows together, and you know, I knew her when before Betty Who was a thing, and when that Somebody Loves You song came out and she put out the first video for it, she would come into the Starbucks that I would work at, and I was like, Jess, oh my god, I love your new music video. And she'd be like, oh, thank you so much. I'll have a grande soy latte and a banana, please.
Bissell had a front row seat to pop music history being made right on Boylston Street.
So I literally went to her first show when her EP came out, when there was like 40 people there. And she still brought down the house. I mean, there were some sound issues here and there, but like, not her fault. Now she's got people to take care of that shit. And it was kind of a big deal because like it was like 3 people on the lineup, and she wasn't even the headliner, but she had the most people there. And as soon as she was done, everyone like left.
So what's next for ZEE Machine? The singer whose name came from his former cover band and his favorite place to play.
My music video for Dangerous is going to be out next month. Stay tuned.
New music is on its way too.
I'm really excited just for like, if anything, the sound of these next 2. I think I might have been like pissed off when I was writing them, just because they're kind of tongue in cheek and a little snide about like fake people. They're like a little bit elevated. One of them is kind of like, if I had to compare it to anything, it's like if Lorde and NSYNC did a song together. And then the other one is like if Bon Iver, Carly Rae Jepsen, and Zedd did a collaboration.
For Bissell, it's important to stand out as a queer artist.
I think Sam Smith is and was incredibly important in terms of like visibility, first and foremost, because and I think his voice is that of an angel. But I think to write as ambiguously as he does, I think would be doing myself and my honesty as like an artist and a writer a disservice, and I wouldn't be being truthful to what I wanted to do with music. My approach is to be unabashedly queer and not make it a big deal. But also, first and foremost, have the music sound good.
I asked Bissell if he had any final thoughts.
Check out MNEK, Shia Diamond, and Vincent, who are all incredibly talented queer acts of color who I think deserve all the attention they're getting. Download Brain Chemistry, stream it if you're a cheap ass, but you can afford $4. I don't know, support local talent, and I don't know, go on prep.